Well, thanks for being with us,
Sure.
Alex. If you could just tell us a little bit about Holman Logistics and what you're doing with us here today.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Monique. I appreciate that. Yeah. So Holman Logistics is a 162-year-old 3PL. We're based in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, Washington. Still family held and privately held. Very excited to work on Management 498's class. It's nice to be able to be with the students to, give them a real life lesson.
So yeah, we like to give them that real world experience with companies like Holman, bringing in the problem. So what's kind of going to be the charge that you give them?
So what we want to be able to do is, work on a project that sort of takes a look at the entire landscape and just U.S. based of 3PLs. And there are many. I mean, I think I had seen something. There's maybe 70,000 3PLs just in the United States alone, which is unbelievable. Now everybody does a slightly different thing. It's not everybody doing the same thing, but just in general, if you were to sort of put the moniker of 3PL, third party logistics, there's many. So we want to be able to sort of work with the students on this semester long program project to then break out, and we have a very detailed list of just all these questions that they should ask and be thinking about. And are there peer competitors that look familiar to Holman, do maybe the same things, and then how are we doing versus them? So you get into certain SWOT analysis and just sort of those kind of analysis that we're doing. Hopefully that's beneficial for them. But we also want them to sort of step away and sort of think about, well, what areas, are there opportunity areas, or are there areas that are underfunded possibly? And especially with AI and just all the different things that are out there and how technology has enabled a lot of capabilities within the 3PL space. Are there things that possibly Holman should be looking at? I mean, a big topic, and we did add it to the project list, is there's been a lot of talk with the tariffs of like nearshoring. They actually call it localization now, so it's Canada, Mexico, United States, like being closer and tightening those supply chains. Are there things that you can do? Is there cross-border stuff that can be done? So we really want to open and wild. I think that's the best kind of learning. And just like, don't be afraid to like make mistakes. Other than that, it's just like, color any way you want, because that's how you learn. That's how you sort of understand what is real value and things like that. So we're looking forward to that. And we're looking forward to the interaction with the students. And the most important thing, at least for me, selfishly, is I just want the students to be comfortable with doing this kind of thing. Because if they truly want to do this, this is how you get good. This is how you get proficient, I think, in supply chain.
So as most of the students that you guys will be working with in the client project class, Management 498, are seniors. It's our one of their last classes, supply chain classes that they have to take. So, you mentioned a couple little tidbits for them to think about, but like what advice or things should students be thinking about? You've had a long career in the logistics industry. As they're transitioning from college life to their first job and thinking about what that might be, that's a big difference, right? Well, what would you tell them?
I always say is, at least in our business, there's such a high value in business is about person to person. And like, I have to know you as a person, and I have to sort of almost, develop a relationship with you.
Right.
Because we are at least in 3PL, it's very relationship based. It always comes down to that. I mean, there can be all these fancy systems and enablers and whatever that is, but I do believe that it comes down, businesses like, I need to trust you to take care of my business. And I think that is the most important thing. I'm like, if you forget everything, is what I usually say when I do a guest lecture or whatever like that, you're going to totally forget whatever I just talked about. And that's fine. As soon as you walk out the door, that's okay. I said, but the most important thing, I think, the skill that will definitely reap your benefits, day one to day 1,000 and beyond, is the ability to sort of work together in teams, to understand, to pull the best out of, people that work with you or work for you, or be able to deliver to the person that you're working for. I'm like, to be able to understand all of that. It's things, I think, making, as you had said, making that transition where, it's very, I don't want to say scripted in school, but we all sort of like, it's you go to class, you take the exams, you write the papers, it's a very sort of that whole thing. And whereas in the business world, there's a lot, like I said before, there's a lot more nuance. There's things that you need to be able to do that aren't necessarily in a linear fashion.
Right.
And I think if you can think like that and react to that and bring that kind of value, not only with the teams that you're on, but then just in your interaction with other people, I think that's the people who do that will be very successful as far as technology and distractions and just all of this at the same time. Is to be able to sort of parse that out and be able to sort of be focused and present and be present with people and sort of, understand the give and take. And I think sometimes electronics maybe gets in the way or it shortens that attention span, whereas I think if you can be really present with somebody and hear them, understand them, be able to answer their questions, be able to add value in conversations, I think that's a skill that I think is just worth its weight in gold. I mean, it's an unbelievable skill.
So when we tell them, you need to go meet everybody that you can.
Totally.
There's a reason we make you work on those teams, do those presentations, right?
And feel uncomfortable. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's good to be social. It's good to put yourself out there. You may feel uncomfortable in whatever kind of setting you're in, but guess what? The person on the other, they feel uncomfortable too. It's just, that's the way that it is. And I said, you need to sort of get beyond that. You need to push beyond that because there's goodness there anyway, but there's even more goodness beyond that once you get to a sort of a common language. And when that happens, boy, there's so much goodness that can be found. And it just unlocks your own thinking to do one thing and make you better at whatever role that you're doing for whatever company. And I think there's a lot of value in that for sure.
One last question. As students are, hearing lots of conversation of tariffs and how companies are using AI and digitizing their supply chains, like what are the biggest things that you think that they could do now to be better prepared or like learn more about, one area when they get out?
I think this will be a very telling year. I think 2026 as far as like where does AI sort of fit in, because there's been a lot of talk and there's a lot of sort of glamour and there's also been a lot of things written on the other side that it's not sort of panned out as it has or whatever. And I think just like any technology, there's once people sort of harness it, and I think to answer your question about students sort of like understanding how you work with it to better enable yourself to be smarter, to do certain things. Once again,
more
to sort
efficient.
of to unlock certain areas that you can sort of focus in on. I mean, I'd be just even work-life balance. There's a lot of talk to that right now, and I would tell you because I think this is all sort of interrelated. So whether it's AI or work-life, I think it's if you have this sort of you can step away from time to time because there's so much noise and it's just so hyper concentrated. There's so much value in just spending time with a friend completely outside of work or whatever like that. Because I think once you step away and you get a little bit of a perspective on it, you can see a little bit clearer. Like, this would work, because when you're so close to something, sometimes you can't see the answer. So I think it's a combination of those couple things. It's just, I think that, AI or any of the technology right now will unlock a lot of productivity, gains, and just be able to do so many things. I mean, I could go on about stuff that we're doing and we're using it for, whether it's safety or just productivity, and I think all those things are essential and good. But I think at the same time, it's how do you deliberately use the tools to better enhance your career or whatever you're doing. So I'd say that there's this balance. Once again, it all sort of, I'm a big believer in everything tying into each other. But it's just like, if you can sort of focus on that and then how that works, I think it unlocks a lot of value for your career and going forward.
It's definitely an exciting area to be in. That's why I tell our students that I love the field of supply chain management because stuff's always changing and every company has a supply chain and you're never going to be without some challenge to figure out.
That's right. So, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being with us today.
Sure.
And I'm excited to see how things progress as you guys start working with the students some more.
Yes. Thank you very much. We appreciate the time.